I just went to the Starbucks before I came here. I wanted to grab a little coffee, and I was waiting for my cappuccino to be made, and then the barista was trying to have a conversation with me. She was like, yo, you know who you look like? I was like, nah, who? She's like, come on, guess. I was like, I don't know. Who? She's like, come on, man, just guess. I was like, I don't know, just tell me. She's like, my cousin. How the hell was I supposed to guess that? Her cousin? What the fuck? This is Vegas heat, man. I don't understand what's wrong with these people, man. I grew up in New York. Anybody from out of town? Make some noise if you're from out of town. Who's from out of town in here? Yeah? Hell yeah, man. I moved out to San Diego, California. I've been out there for 11 years now. I moved from New York, and New York's got a bad reputation. People think like, New Yorkers are assholes. That's the reputation they have, and it's just because like we don't really talk to people a lot. Like we're busy. I grew up in Queens. I was in the city, so we were busy. We were like going places. We had things to do. So I was used to like going to the store, just like putting my stuff up at the counter, and just like the guy never said anything to me. It was just like no hello, how are you? None of that. Just like you scan my stuff. I see how much it costs. I give him my card. He'd put it in a bag, and I'd leave. That's it. No, have a nice day. But then I moved to the West Coast, and people are a lot different out there, man. They're very chatty out there. These people, it's weird, man. Like, they give up too much information. Because I went to the deli, to get like a sandwich made, like a fresh sandwich. I walked up to the counter, and the lady was like, hey, how's it going? I was like, oh, good. How are you? She's like, oh, I'm so sick. Throwing up, diarrhea. And I'm like, what? What are you telling me that for? She's like, what can I get for you? And I was like, you can get the hell away from me. I'm not trying to catch that diarrhea. What is wrong with you? I don't want you to tell me that, man. It's just a formal greeting. You know what I mean? Don't take it too literally. It goes like this. It's like, hey, how are you? Good. How are you? Good. That's it. I don't want to hear about your diarrhea. I don't want to hear about your political views. I just want a sandwich. You know what I'm saying? But the worst is Trader Joe's. You guys ever been to Trader Joe's? Yeah? Yeah. They need a self-checkout at Trader Joe's. Let's just say that. Yeah. These people have a comment for every one of your items. You know what I mean? It's like they scan in my items. He's like, oh, dude, what's for dinner tonight? I'm like, what? Like, he scans my dog food. He's like, oh, bro, what kind of dog do you have? I'm like, it's a pit bull. He's like, do you have any pictures in your phone? I'm like, what? Dude, like you're working. What are you doing? This is why these lines are so goddamn long here, dude. Just scan the food. I had to get tampons for my wife, which is like, a little embarrassing, I'm just like, he's just, he picks them up. He's like, ooh, heavy flow. I'm like, oh, bro. Put him in the bag. Fucking people on another planet out here, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. But people are different, Guys are so much different than girls. It's like, it's pretty crazy. Because like girls, like they'll get together with their besties, they hang out. They share like a bunch of personal information. Like they know everything about each other, like all the intimate details. And like guys, we don't do that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't do that at all. Like I have his best friend. Like we've been best friends now. We've been pretty close for like the last 4 years. And the other day, my wife was like, so does he have a wife? Is he married? And I was like, that's a good question. I don't know. I don't know. Never came up. Does he have kids? I'm like, I don't know. What do you guys talk about? I'm like, I don't know. I guess if I knew a lot about him, I probably wouldn't really be best friends with him anymore. You know what I mean? Like, we like football. We're in fantasy football. Where are my football people at? Make some noise if you're a football fan in here. Where you at? Oh, yeah. What's your team, man? What do you like? Patriots. Patriots? Okay. What's your team? Spit it out. What's your team? KC? Okay. Calm down, Patriots. Calm the fuck down. Yeah, man, I'm a big football fan, too. I play fantasy football. I'm a big fan. And I remember a couple years ago, remember when they changed the Washington Redskins? They had to change their name to the Commanders because it was like racist towards Native Americans. I think that was so stupid. What do you guys think? Stupid. Pretty stupid, right? Yeah. So stupid. But then I was thinking, like, maybe we should just get rid of all the names, like the Patriots, and the Chiefs. We should just make them all races. Because I want to watch the Mexicans play the Asians this weekend. You know what I mean? I want to watch the blacks fuck up the Jews. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think everybody would watch that, right? Everybody would watch. Who would your team be? You're supposed to say the blacks, bro. You remember? You're rooting for the blacks, man. Oh, man. I grew up in New York. I ended up going to college out in Florida. I went to West Palm Beach. I went to college. We got a Florida fan? We got Florida over here? Okay. Florida sucks, bro. It's a pretty... This guy... You're the only one. Woo! Everybody's like, what the fuck is it? Yeah, man. It was like the low point in my life. You know what I'm saying? It was like... Growing up in New York, I thought Florida was cool. I thought it was like the California of the East Coast, you know? I was like, I gotta get out there. And then I moved down there, and like, I remember I packed everything in my car, and I drove my piece of shit car all the way down there to go to school. And as soon as I got there, I had to like go to a mechanic. My tires needed to be changed. My car was smoking, so I found this good mechanic, like real close to the school. And he was working on my car for a little bit. And then one day I was sitting in my dorm room, and I was watching that television show, Cops. You guys remember that show, Cops? But I just moved there, you know, so this show, Cops, comes on and says, Cops, West Palm Beach. And I was like, oh, shit, I'm living in West Palm Beach. You know, I'm going to watch this episode, you know. Maybe y'all know somebody, you know. And I swear to God, the very first car that the cop was pulling over was my mechanic. They were pulling this car over. It was 2 o'clock in the morning. He was swerving all over the road. It turns out that he was drunk and on cocaine, right? So the cop was like, I need you to get out of the car. So he gets out of the car, and he was naked. He was driving naked, drunk, and on coke at 2 in the morning, right? So the cop was like, hey, man, you know, where you coming from dressed like this? He was like, home. And he was like, yeah, well, where you going dressed like this? And he was like, jail? Like, yep. You're going to jail. But he was a good mechanic. I kept going to him. I had to go like a couple of weeks later. I went there to get my brakes done. So I walked into the shop and I saw him working, right? So I walked up to him. I was like, hey, man. Saw you on TV. And he was like, oh, yeah? Which show? Which show? Cops, bro. Why, what other show were you on? And he was like, Dateline, To Catch a Predator. I was like, oh, shit. All right, I'm Shaun, guys. Thank you so much.